Hello and welcome to the demo video for the LinkedIn Business Marketing Report. So what does the spreadsheet do? How does it work? Well, it's for anybody who uses LinkedIn for business. Now, if you've got a business page and you post content from that business page, this is for you. This is not for your personal profile. There is a spreadsheet in the basic range, in our basic range products for your personal profile. This is not it, because this one you can actually get your analytics. You can download analytics from your LinkedIn account based on your business page. So this is most definitely for the business page. It helps you to set up campaigns, plan your content, and then ultimately report back on all of the different posts, specifically as to what kind of interaction you've got on each post. So let me show you how it works. Here's the intro and setup page. Your business name should be in there. Select the month, the start of the year, whenever you start your year. So it can either be a calendar year or a business year, and input the year of the starting year. I'll come back to this query string in a second. On the report, there's a league table of all of your posts in order of, or whatever order you want. So what do you want that league table? What do you want to be the primary data used to determine the order of the league table? So if you think of football, the primary one would be points, and then if the points were level, it would go to goal difference. If goal difference were the same, then it would go to goals scored, and so on and so forth. This is exactly the same. What is the most important aspect here for you? And then what's the second most important, third most important, so on and so forth. So if you come here and you can select, you can see there's nothing in there at the moment because everything's been used. But if you were to remove some, so if I remove those two, for example, now I've got those two left. So I can actually choose which one I want to have in as number 1 and 2. So let's go back to what we had before and select website clicks as number 1, then engagement, impressions, so on and so forth. Days warning before a post, days warning to post. So what this does is it basically just turns red to say you ought to have posted this how many days before it's actually due to post. Do you want that to pop up? So if you're planning your content here and this is going into something like Hootsuite or whatever that's going to then post it in the day, then you can post before the event. If this is actually like I use it to post straight from here into LinkedIn, then I just select a 0, so it only warns me on the day when I'm actually due to post. Last but not least is this query string. Now what this is, I've put an MCR here because I had an old system that used that. You can put in basically any letters you like, because what it's going to do is when you put in a website link, let me just go to my website for a second. Here's my website. You can see Spreadsheet Solutions.biz. When you come to Spreadsheet Solutions.biz, if you had a, for example, question mark 10100, the beginning of that, it still goes to the same page, but what the 10100 does is it shows you where that click has actually come from. So let's just take that back out again. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. So when you create a link and you've got your business website, you've got a question mark at the end. The question mark basically says anything after this isn't actually linked, but more where the links come from. What this will do then is we'll have a question mark followed by those letters and then some numbers and codes as far as the date and which line it is and all the rest of it. But this is just so that you can do a search in your Google later on, your Google Analytics, to find items that have actually gone through, that have used one of these links that you've got in the spreadsheet. So you can put anything here. It really doesn't matter. Just something unique, a string of letters that won't appear in your website or in any of the links that you're doing. But even if they do, it doesn't really matter because the question mark will help define that anyway. So I've just used the string MCR, so I can do a search later on for MCR. I hope that makes sense. You'll see when we get to it how this works. Now I'm not going to go through the pages in order because some of these pages we'll get to because they logically don't follow suit. The first thing that does follow suit though are the campaigns, and all you need to do on the campaigns is basically list your campaigns down the left hand side. That's all you can do on this page. Everything else is automated. So just if you want to, what I mean by campaigns is when you're running marketing campaigns, you're obviously going to have different campaigns. For example, you're going to have one about a particular type of product or one about a particular type of service you provide. Maybe one of them is more about marketing, maybe one of them is more about brand awareness. Maybe one of them is more about education, whatever. You can choose what your campaigns are, and you can list your campaigns. Now you've got the space here to list up to 55 campaigns, so you can go nuts. List your campaigns. Don't list the same campaign name twice, obviously, but what this will do is it'll give you the option to assign that campaign to any of your posts. So that's the first thing I'd suggest you doing, but you can do this obviously once you've used in the spreadsheet. You can come in here anytime, add in a new campaign, just sort alphabetically if that helps you, and then these numbers will all update accordingly. What you do then is, this is the main page, the business page post. This is where it all happens. This is where you enter in all the information and so on and so forth. So I've put some in before, but let's just to avoid confusion, let's start from the beginning. Each line, when I click on it, it'll give me the next number in sequence. Now the reason why it's giving me 41 and not 40 is because I've got 40 in here. I've added one in and then resorted into date order, so 40 is up here. There's a reason for that. All I want is the next unique number in this list. So if you come here and select the next number, which in this case is 41, you can type the content of your post here. So here you can write in whatever it is that you want to post. Hey, LinkedIn, whatever the case might be, type in your post. You can include hashtags, everything in there. Now, if you've got a link in that post, or even if you put the link in the comments below, or however you do it, and you want to have a link, this is where you put in the link. So if I want to have a link to my website, if I come to my website and go copy, and come back to here and paste it in there and go enter, you see now there's the link. But I want to get a unique link. So when I come here, once I've put the link in, I can come here and select. It doesn't give me the unique link yet because I need to put in a date. So if I put in today's date, 13th of July, and the time approaching, let's just say 1600. You see it's gone red because it's saying you need to post this because that's due to post today. So that's warning me to post. As soon as I've actually posted it, I just tick that and that goes away. Which campaign is it in? Let's just say for argument's sake it's in Bespoke Spreadsheets campaign. Is there an image attached? Yes, there is. Now when I click on here, it'll give me that new link. So if I click on that, you see the new link has got the MCR, which is the text that I put here, MCR, and it says 0720 because that's July 2020. It says 20, which is sorry, there was a 20 the year, and 041, which is line 41. So that code, that query string that they call it there, this section here after the question mark, is all trackable. So when it comes back through Google Analytics, this spreadsheet can go, all right, it's 720 041, this is 041, is that July 2020? Yes, it is. It's the same link. Boom, that is the one that you found on your Google Analytics. So if I take that link now, copy, and I come here into LinkedIn and I just paste that in there, what it's now doing is it's saying, hey LinkedIn, here's a link, essentially. So that then becomes my post that I would then post on LinkedIn. That's all I do. When I post it, once I go, now what I do is I'll open up LinkedIn. As you know, you go to your business page, write a new post, copy that text, paste it into it, click enter. Okay, I've posted it. Now I can go and tick this off and go, yes, that's been posted. It's still saying posted you because there's one over here which I actually did this morning. So that one's done there. That's disappeared. All right, so now you've posted it. That should be all you need to do from a point of view of actually adding information to the spreadsheet. If we scroll across, let's go and see what else is required. Here we've got a post override, which is a gray column, and here we've got a whole bunch of things: impressions, view, clicks, likes, comments, shares, and clicks. Now, how do we get that information? So what I want to do is I'm just going to remove this one here that we just did, because I don't want to confuse the issue when I get the raw data. So now it's the same situation here. These ones, some of them I've got, the older ones, but now you go, well, how did you get these numbers? These numbers are all imported from Google, from LinkedIn, and I'll show you how. This one starts at the beginning of March, right? So it starts on the 16th of March. That's when one of the first ones are, but I've put down as January. So let's go to LinkedIn. Let's go to your business. I've gone to my business page, as you can see here. If I click on analytics and updates, I now want to go back to the spreadsheet and have a look at the date range. So actually what I'm looking for here is anything from 16th of March through to, well, current. So if I go back to LinkedIn and I say, where was it? Export. Let's go to March. Let's go, yeah, 16th of March up until July the 11th. That's all right. And I go update. So now I've got that range, 16th of March to July the 10th. Well, that'll do. And I say export that. Open up that new spreadsheet. Enable editing. Now, which one do I use? If I go to here where I'm going to input the data, this tab is where you put in the data analytics, the analytics data from LinkedIn. The reason why it's like this, normally what I would do is I would put all the headers across the top. You would export the data and paste values under the headers and you'll be able to see all the headers. The reason why I don't do it is because LinkedIn are notorious for removing columns and changing headers. So all of a sudden, if you had, say, 10 columns, the 7th column was the one you're looking at, and then the next week, all of a sudden, it's the 8th one that you're looking at because they've added a column and everything's shifted up, and now there's an extra column of data. And I'm forever changing these spreadsheets. So the reason why I do it like this is so that you can paste the data below and with the headers in the header column, and then these cells here where this is all the data that you require, you just simply go and select the correct header that marries up with the header so that the spreadsheet knows which column of data to use. Now all these are already in, so when you put the data in, it says no data inputs. When you put the data in, you'll see all these red cells will turn white. They should, which means you've got everything, and it'll give you a green go ahead here. If any of the headers aren't recognized in this header row, then these will go red once you've got the data in, and then you'll be able to go and click on them and just simply select. There's nothing there because you haven't put the data in. Once you put the data in, you'll be able to select what the correct header is, and then it will know where to find that data. So that's why it is like this. It's a little bit more confusing than just simply having the headers and pasting it in. But as I said, this now allows for LinkedIn to switch the data around and change things, and we can kind of keep up with them. This is where I input that data. It says here analytics, update, date range, export, update engagement tab. So if I go here and I say update engagement tab, there's the title of the columns. Here's the information. This at the top are just notes. So I'm going to remove that because I don't need the notes, and I'm going to get the headers and the information, scroll across to the end of engagement rate, basically everything, copy. I'm going to come back to the spreadsheet here. I'm going to click on the top one on the gray column, the gray row, because I've got the headings, and the gray row headers need to go in the gray row. Right click, paste values. Now you see all those red ones have disappeared. They've all said, okay, everything's all right. It all says data appears correct, because these are the headers I'm looking for to pull up the respective data. So I need to get that data. That's the data I need. Find the post ID, everything. It all looks good. But how do I get that data? I'm looking for these headers. So if any of these headers were wrong, so if, for example, let's find one that we can change. That's gonna, here we go, title. If that one were saying, it won't let me do it because it's the wrong size. If that one's blank, for example, or it's wrong, it can't find it. It says there's missing data, incorrect data. This is saying it's looking for the title. So what I need to do is go and select which one is the header that shows the title. It's that one, update title. Now it knows what data it's looking for. It's got all the data. If we scroll across, there's another one that says, what's the link text? So when you have a look in one of these columns, in fact, let's go to the other spreadsheet and have a look at it. there's the link. So you can see that number there is actually the link I need, but it's got all this other text beforehand. So what I've said here is which one is the link, which one is the full post link. So I've said which one is the full post link, and it says update link, so it knows how to find the data, but then I've put in the link text here, so it removes that text from that full link and leaves me with a number. Read the instructions here and you can see what's going on, but then essentially what that does is it takes that full link, it removes what I've told it to remove, and it's left with the post ID. So you can come here and check if this data all looks correct, then you're on to a winner. If anything here turns red, just simply select the right one. Once that says data appears correct, you've got all the correct data, it knows what headers to look for to find all the respective data, everything's correct. What that then does, if we go back to your business page posts, as you can see, is it brings all of these numbers in here. Now this section, you simply copy and paste values here to get these. So there's impressions, video views. So if I were to do that line, if I go there, copy, come here, paste values, it would then paste those values into this section here. So you can do the whole green section. But now the website clicks aren't right because it doesn't know what's clicked to the website because we haven't got the Google Analytics data. So here's the Google Analytics data, and we need to collect the same thing. That tells you where to go. So if you go to Google Analytics and you go to behavior, overview, it wasn't overview, was it? Let's go and have a look. Behavior, site content, all pages. Whoops. So if we go to behavior, site content, all pages, that then pulls up that. What else do we need to do? Then use the filter, select time frame. All right, so if we go back here and we want to use the filter, so we come here to this and we want to find, if you put in question mark MCR, because that was a question mark, that was the code I put in right at the beginning, if you remember correctly. Tell it to search. It finds everything with a question mark MCR in. Now this one's only got 3 items because it's only been done recently. But if we put in the same parameters that we did for the other ones, remember the other one we set from the 16th of March, from the 16th of March to current, and say apply. Now we've all of a sudden got 1 to 10 or 40. So what we do is we go to show rows and go to 5,000, because 5,000 is the maximum that you can do, and make sure everything's on the same page. So now everything's on the same page, it's all found what we're looking for. If we go to MCR, just take out that dash, check that there are no more. Question mark MCR for that date range, it'll search. Let's have a look and see how many you found. Yeah, 1 to 4 or 40. Then you just simply go to export and export to Excel SX. That'll then download, open that one up, and similar to the LinkedIn one, but this time what we do is we go to dataset 1, and here we've got the data we've got. So if we select the headers as well, go down to the bottom, if there are any totals, ignore the totals, right click, copy, come back to the spreadsheet, and again paste values here in the headers. And it's the same situation as looking for page and entrances, so it's checking for those 2 things. It's found them, it's all right. If it doesn't find either of these 2, just go and select what you're actually looking for once you put the data in, and it now knows how many times each of those links have come back to the website. So if you go back to your business page, you'll see now those are there. So what you would do, I've already done it, is you would then come here, take all these ones that have turned green because they've got data in them. You see that last row didn't have them. If we then go to right click copy, and we come back up the top in the right place and right click paste values. Whoops, I've done it in the wrong place. We need to do it to the right of that gray. If we go to here, right click paste values. Now all of those numbers, make sure that whichever line you start copying on, you paste on, and make sure, like me, you didn't make the same mistake I just made and paste it in the right place. But now those numbers are now pasted values in here. Because they're pasted values, you can now go back to the other ones and you can actually clear this content. You can clear that, and you can clear that, and these numbers will actually stay there because these have been pasted as values. These will disappear to the right, but that doesn't matter because you've now got the pasted values. And that is all you need to do. Now, how often do you need to do this? Well, that's up to you. How often you want to update this. If you run out of space, i.e. here, as far as the number of rows you've got 1,000, and here you've also got. Whoops! I forgot to lock that. That's not very good, is it? Let's scroll down to the bottom and have a look and see. 5,000. You may end up running out of rows, but that doesn't matter because you don't have to do the whole year's worth in one go. You can do a month at a time. You can go back as far as you want, because let's be honest, if you're going to be posting something in January, by the middle of June or July, you're probably not still getting engagement on the posts from January, so you don't have to update the whole year. You can do a month or two at a time. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that whatever you put in will go green, so you only copy and paste across the right values, and don't override the ones before that you're not actually collecting the data on. So what is this gray column for? Well, the gray column, there's a lot of formulas going on behind the scenes, basically to look at this post and to try and marry this up with your raw data so that it knows which post you're looking at. Sometimes you may either have two very similar posts and is not sure which one to use, or alternatively, sometimes you get these special characters that you put into the text, and LinkedIn doesn't know what to do with it, and it converts special characters into all sorts of letters and things, and it just confuses the issue, in which case the spreadsheet may not know which post is which. Now, in that case, I've put a lot more effort into this one to be able to get this right, and I think I've ironed out all of the snags. So LinkedIn, it should really flag up here. It should change color, and it'll give you a warning at the top if any of these are not 100% clear to the spreadsheet as to which one you're using. So when you put the data in, it may not show older ones and newer ones, but it should definitely show the ones that relate to the data that you've entered, and it checks to see, can it find the where's the data analytics to the right, can it find the post ID link? If it can't find the post ID link, then what it'll do is this one will turn yellow and it'll say please enter the post ID link. Then all you do is you go and have a look through your raw data, find the ID link, which is a long number, copy it, paste values into the cell so it knows what the number is. Then what it'll do is it won't ask you for that number. It'll simply, when you put that data in, it'll simply go and find that number that it's already got. So if one of these turn yellow, put the post ID number in. If it doesn't turn yellow, but you can see, hang on a second, these numbers don't look right, and you check it up and it's using the wrong post ID, at any stage you can override which data it uses by simply putting in the post ID here. So that's what the gray column is for. So that is that. Hopefully that hasn't been too confusing. This is essentially the page you use. This is where you can set up campaigns. These two pages is where you paste the supporting data from the respective places, whether they be LinkedIn or Google Analytics, in order to get these numbers here. And then once you paste the values into here, you've now got the numbers. That will in turn update all of this campaign information to the right here and show you which of those campaigns are doing better than others. And last but not least, that will generate this entire report on the last page. So what does this report do? There's the league tables we spoke of, showing me the campaigns in order of success based on what I've deemed to be successful. Here's a breakdown per campaign, showing the impressions and clicks and likes and comments and shares per campaign, so I can see which campaigns I've shared more, I've posted more about, and which ones have better feedback and that kind of thing from these points of view. Here I can see the click to the website. This is clicks to the website per post by campaign. So essentially, the taller each of these buildings are, the more successful those campaigns have been at bringing clicks to the website. Here's a number of posts per month by status. So you've got your posts. So this is simply what have I posted, what am I due to post, what future posts. So there aren't any future posts or due to post, but if there's anything that I've got that I've posted, that I've put in the spreadsheet and haven't actually posted yet, it'll show how much I've done each month. Here you can see your total actions per month. So it's the same as this graph here, but instead of showing by campaign, it's showing per calendar month. Here you can see a clicks to website per month. Here you can see your average post actions per month. So this is your average posts, and this here are actions on all of your posts. This is your average post. So April seemed to be far more successful from my posting point of view than, for argument's sake, July did or May did. Although actually, yeah, May hasn't done too badly with interactions, but I just posted fewer posts. Media breakdown by media. You can see image, whether you had no image, video, or none, what the breakdown is. You can also see your post breakdown as to when you posted, AM or PM. I do most of mine in the mornings. Here you can see the success, impressions, engagement, clicks to post, so on, by the different types, so none, image, or post. This is a percentage of the total actions, so you can see percentage-wise which ones are better with or without an image and a video. And here the same thing, AM and PM. And here whether you've got a link in the post or not, yes or no. The ones that, the ones where you've created a custom link and you've posted that link into the actual post will show as yes. Those where you haven't got a link in the post but you may well have put one in the comments will just show as no. And here you can see impressions compared to video views. So basically your video views, people have seen the video in the sense of seen it on their news feed. How many of those people have actually clicked through and watched the video? You can see a percentage breakdown there. And also your breakdown by LinkedIn, link in post or not. So they've all had links in the post. That's why these are all zeros. So this last page of your report here is all kind of interesting to know which ones perform better, images, not AM or PM, link in the post or not, etc. But these other ones, this is your monthly monthly report. So you've got all your actions here per month, and at the top is your campaign report, so you can see all the different breakdown per campaign. And this is all automatically generated based on this data that's here. This data that's here is manually entered, except for this, which is collected from your Google Analytics and your data. So as I said, your LinkedIn Analytics, we can now come and actually clear this, clear contents. Those will all show that they're missing because there's no data. That's fine. And this one here we can come and clear as well. That one's fine, and that report will still be there because we've copied and pasted values across here. Now next time, if you did what I just did again, you could in theory start from here. So we could actually come from here and go, well, we've got 13th of July. What you can maybe do next time is maybe go back to the beginning of June. So then if you put the data in from the 1st of June, when you collect the next lot of Google Analytics and LinkedIn data from the beginning of June, then if you put that in, what you'll find is they'll turn green from here onwards because you're only doing back to June. Then you can copy the new green ones, come across here, paste values into here, and it'll update everything. And all your report will update and everything will update accordingly. So I hope that made sense. It does sound quite complicated because there's bits coming from everywhere, but hopefully that makes sense. It is very similar to the Marketing Hub spreadsheet, which at the moment of making this video we give away for free. I'm not sure how much longer I'll do that, but if you have that, it's a very similar layout and it works with the same principles. The only difference is the other one works with various social media and this one focuses on LinkedIn. So this one is a lot more accurate. It works a lot better. It's easier to do. Whereas the other one might be a little bit more clumsy, but it's trying to do all the social media ones together. So I hope that makes sense. If you do use this or you want to buy and you've got any other questions, please do get in touch. I'll be happy to explain it to you. But hopefully that is enough to go on for now. Thank you and goodbye.